Hey guys, welcome to another video tutorial of Freekicks in FIFA 23. So as you may or may not know, I think Freekicks in FIFA 23 are one of the major updates that FIFA introduced, with a lot of variations that you can do. A lot of information has been provided at what angle you can kick the ball, where to kick the ball, where to place the ball in the direction as well, which in turn have made free kicks, I won't say easy, but a lot more, I would say, comfortable. A lot more not complicated as before. You precisely know most of the times once you get the hang of it where the ball is going to go, and it's pretty sweet when it does. So obviously, I think with the variations introduced in FIFA 23, there are a lot of types of free kicks that you can perform. Around, I think around, from what I know, we can perform around 10 to 12 different types of free kicks with different types of players. However, in this, I'm gonna tell you around 8 types of free kicks that you can score. Pretty much, 8 out of 10 times it will go in. Very simple process, very simple way to score them. So I'll go through them one by one, and hopefully you guys can start scoring free kicks in FIFA 23. So let's get started. So we're going to start off with the inside foot curl and dip. It's a very simple free kick where once the free kick taker kicks the ball, it goes up and above the wall and beats the goalkeeper to the top corner. It's one of the most simplest and the most beautiful free kicks that you can score. What you do is basically in PS5, take your right analog and bring the cursor to the left bottom corner where it says inside foot curl. Make sure you bring it as below as possible at an angle of 45 degrees so that the ball goes up and over. Make sure that you point the ball towards the middle of the goal. And when it comes to power, it depends upon the distance. Usually 2.5 or 3 bar is good enough for a perfect free kick. Here you can see Vlahovic is placing the ball. He's going to kick right at 45 degree angle inside foot curl with 2.5 bar, and it's a beautiful goal to the top corner. So guys, it's one of the most basics, one of the most simple free kicks that you can score in FIFA 23, and it takes not a lot of practice. Here Sadio, I also want to say Sadio Mane, Leroy Sané with another one. As you can see, you kick the ball right below at a 45 degree angle where the cursor points to inside foot curl, and then based upon the distance, if it's just just a little bit far off the box, you can basically use around 2.5 to 3 bars of power, and it will beautifully go right up to the top corner and by beating the wall. Even if the wall jumps, there's no chance that they're going to block it. So there you go. I hope you're gonna score a lot of free kicks with this. The next free kick that we are going to learn is the long ranger. It's probably one of the most difficult free kicks to master in FIFA 23, but with a bit of practice, on the angle and on the power bar, you should be able to perform it. And once you get the hang of it after a bit of practice, it easily becomes one of your favorite shots or favorite free kicks. Usually long rangers, you can perform long rangers when the ball is at a distance of around 25 to 35 yards out, and it will go in spectacularly when you do the right things. So how we perform the long ranger? Okay, so as usual, place the point of contact, the right analog cursor where it says inside foot curl, and make sure you point the ball towards the left of the last man or towards the right of the last man if it's a right-footed free kick taker. And the power bar should be around 3.5. It should not reach 4. It will just fly away. But make sure the power button is 3.5 or a bit more than 3.5. It should not reach 4, and it will be able to perform a spectacular long range goal. Here Messi with 3.5 against Spain, and there you go, top corner. It is one of the most satisfying goal a free kick that you score once it comes off, it takes a bit of time to get used to it, but when you are able to do it, it just feels worth it. So I would suggest give it some time, keep practicing, keep practicing, keep practicing, and you will be able to learn it. So there you go. Once again, oof, up and over, 104 kilometers per hour. Beautiful. So the next free kick that we are going to learn is the outside foot curler, right? This is one of the most beautiful free kicks that you can score in FIFA 23. It's pretty simple. All you need is a bit of practice on the timing, a bit of practice on the point of contact of the ball, and then once you get used to it, and if you get it perfectly, it will fly in like this up into the top corner for a very beautiful goal. Okay, so how do we perform the outside curl free kick, right? So just like the inside foot curl, for the outside foot curl, what you have to do, you have to place the ball at a 45-degree angle on the opposite side of the free kick taker. Here you can see for Griezmann, who is a left footer, you are taking on the opposite side at the 45-degree angle and place it just outside the goal post, right? When I say just outside, basically 1 foot outside of the goal post, and the power should be around 2.5. You should not let it reach 3 or it might fly over the bar, but 2.5 or just below 3 is good enough. Let's see how this goes in. Griezmann performs. Okay, I bring the cursor right below at a 45-degree angle where it says outside foot curl, and I point it at 1 foot outside the goal, and there you go. It flies in beautifully. As I mentioned, just like the long ranger, this will also take a little bit of practice, a little bit of time. So I would suggest keep patience. There are a lot of variations that you can do with it, with the power and the placement. This is the most simplest way that I have taught you, and hopefully you'll be able to perform a lot of such goals in FIFA 23. There you go. Beautiful. Alright, so the next free kick that we are going to learn is the powered inside foot curler. The difference between the powered inside foot and the up and over inside foot is basically in the powered inside foot, it doesn't go above the wall, it goes sideways to the wall and curls in to the top corner, right? It's the simplest, I would say it's the simplest free kick that you can perform. Basically, when you place the ball, you don't even need to adjust the ball's angle, because you can actually kick the ball by the default state where the cursor is placed. So don't even need to place the cursor at all. So still, let's go how we do about it. Here you can see, you place the ball, you don't need to readjust the ball at all, it will be automatically placed, and you point the goal at the shoulder of the last defender, right? Just outside the shoulder of the last defender. When it comes to power, you hit the power with a 3.5 bars of power, right? Which basically gives it enough power to curl in, and to the top corner, and it becomes a very beautiful goal. So let's see how it happens, right? So as you can see, I haven't changed the cursor at all. Inside foot curl, it's right where FIFA has provided, with 4.5 bar outside the shoulder and top corner. Son scores a beautiful goal for Korea. I didn't notice my dog is here, so that's who is in the profile picture. That's the gamer dog. Just a trivia. She's sleeping. She just got spayed. I hope she makes more appearances in the future. Anyway, so as I mentioned earlier, this is one of the most simplest free kicks that you can perform. And so go ahead and give it a try. So the next free kick that we are going to practice is my favorite, and probably a lot of football fans' favorite, is the knuckleball. It's one of the most complicated, one of the most difficult free kicks to perform, in any of the FIFAs, to be honest. But if it comes off, it is one of the most spectacular goals that you can perform in FIFA, right? So for knuckleball, usually use players who are free kick specialists, like Hakan Çalhanoğlu or Kylian Trippier, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Cristiano Ronaldo, Kylian Mbappe, professional and everyone is professional, but who are like designated free kick takers and who has a lot of power, So let's try and see and learn how to perform the knuckleball free kick. All right. Excuse me. So in order to perform the knuckleball free kick, you have to place the ball, the marker, right at the middle of the ball, right? Just below, but at the middle, where it says knuckle. You reach there, it's between, when you move the cursor, it will be between the inside foot curl and the outside foot curl, where it says knuckle. And point it towards the goal, straight at the goal, and 3 bars of power, and then it will go perfectly in. Don't forget to point it straight at the goal and 3 bars of power. Let's see. Cristiano Ronaldo, right? I move the cursor. It's an inside foot curler now. I bring it a little bit down. As you can see, there's the outside foot curler. So between the inside foot and the outside foot curler, you'll find the knuckleball. Straight at the goal, 3 bars of power, and spectacular. So as I mentioned, I found it the most difficult free kick to master, right? It took me a lot of time to practice, but once I got the hang of it, it's my go-to free kick, to be honest. You can perform it from anywhere. You can perform it near the box, you can perform it from 30 yards, you can perform it at an angle, and there are different types of knuckleball you can perform, to be honest. It will swerve down the onto the corners, it will go straight, so as I mentioned, it's one of my favorites. So let's see another knuckleball by Kylian Mbappe, where it's from an angle and it goes straight in. You will see it will go straight in. See, I place the ball at knuckle, right, between inside foot and outside foot, 3 bars, and boom, straight into the top corner, top bins. So, give it some time. As I mentioned, practice this a lot. Practice this a lot, right? Once you master the knuckleball, I'm telling you, people are going to go crazy. Your friends are going to go crazy. In FIFA Ultimate Team, you can perform knuckleballs, and your opponents will lose their shit, So go ahead, keep practicing, and try to score some knuckleballs. Alright, so the next free kick that we're going to learn is a very simple yet very smart free kick that you can perform with almost anyone. It's especially useful when you are at a slight angle outside the box, at the distance of around, I would say 20 to 22 yards out. Alright, so this free kick is basically the inside foot curl to the far post, which means the ball will travel to the opposite post of where usually the free kick is taken, right? It usually is taken to the near post, but it will travel to the far post. Alright, so what you do is you do not have to change the position of the point of contact at all. Keep it at default at a 45-degree angle where FIFA provides, and then point it towards the goalkeeper, straight at the goalkeeper, right? Inside foot curl, straight at the goalkeeper. And when it comes to power, 3.5 is perfect. 3 should do, but below 3 will not let you perform this. You should not reach 4, but 3.5 pointing at the goalkeeper will give you the perfect, a very smart and clever free kick. Mason Mount here, there you go. So you never expect the player, from that angle to hit the free kick, at the opposite post. It reminds me, I think, the free kick that Leo Messi, when he was at Barcelona, he took against Atletico, and he performed a similar free kick to the opposite post and beat Courtois, who was at Atletico at that point of time. So yeah, this is one of the most smartest and clever free kick that you can take, and it's pretty easy to learn as well. So hopefully you can get started. There's one more. I think this is also the same. It's a left-footed. I think, as I mentioned about Lionel Messi. Okay, let's watch a left-footed. Inside foot curler to the opposite post. You can see straight at the goalkeeper, 3.5 bar, and top bins. So as I mentioned, this is not a very difficult free kick to practice or to master. It will not take a lot of time for you to get the hang of it. It's a very easy and very simple free kick that you can perform, and it's clever because the opposite player always thinks that you might score onto the other side. And it also takes away the problem of hitting the wall, because if when you're hitting it on the other side of the goal, you're not even trying to go over the wall at all. So yeah, go and practice it. The next free kick that we are going to learn seems pretty simple, but it actually is not. It can only be performed by certain players, like especially perform it with like skillful midfielders like Thiago or De Bruyne or Modric or Cruz. So players who can have a lot of finesse and curl in the free kick. So it's almost a chip. It's not exactly a chip, but I love to call it the chip. You can just finesse it and slowly just carries it over to the top corner, right? So how do you perform the finesse or chip free kick? So just like the inside foot curler, place it at a 45-degree angle, and then using point it towards the goalkeeper, right? Using a certain type of player. As I mentioned, this free kick can be performed by only a certain type of player, right? For example, if this free kick is performed by Mbappe, it will directly fly in, but it will not loop in like a chip. But in case of Thiago, it will loop in. So as I mentioned, point it towards the goalkeeper at 45-degree angle, and then 3.5 bar of power, and it will fly in very beautifully. As you can see, 45-degree angle, pointing at the goalkeeper, and see, Thiago doesn't even try. He just finishes it, right? So, as I mentioned, even though the power is 3.5, which is a lot, right? And the angle is similar to the one in the previous free kick that I said, inside foot curl up to the far post. But it's dependent upon the player, If it was some other player, look at how Thiago just carries it, right? So player like Thiago, player like De Bruyne, player like Modric or Cruz will perform this free kick, and it will result in a very, very beautiful goal. So go ahead, practice it. Best of luck. Last but not the least, we are going to learn the inside foot curler, but in the far post. Usually when you perform an inside foot curler, the player usually performs it up and over the wall, around the wall, into the near post, right? Here we are going to learn how to perform the inside foot curler free kick, but onto the far post. The benefit of this free kick is that basically it takes the wall out of the equation. Here you can see, right? It doesn't matter because you are not even aiming at the wall at all. You're aiming farther away from the wall. It just requires a bit of timing, a bit of power, and it will fly in up to the top corner of the opposite side of the goal. So how do you perform it? So place it at the 45-degree angle. Usually it stays at a 45-degree by default, as I mentioned, and then point the goal just outside the far post, basically 1/4 distance of the entire goal, right? And then when it comes to power, use around, I would say, 3.5 bars of power. 3.5 bar will give you the perfect top corner free kick. It should be more than 3, but it should be less than 4. Between the 3 and a 4 bar of power, and once you reach that, there's a 100% guarantee that you're going to score a goal. Let's see. Here, Frankie de Jong, you can see, outside, 3.5 bar of power, top corner. It's a beautiful goal. As I mentioned, this is also a very simple free kick. Like as I've been mentioning through the entire video, all the free kicks that I have mentioned here are the basic free kicks. There are tons of other free kicks that you can perform. This is one of the basic free kicks as well. It's smart because it takes away the role of the wall. All you need to do is bend it outside the far corner, and beat the goalkeeper. So keep practicing. This should not take a lot of time, and hopefully you'll be able to perform a lot of goals. All right. Having said that, let's watch it once more. While we watch it, guys, so I'd like to finish it off by saying that's it for today's video. I hope you learned a little bit, about how to perform free kicks in FIFA 23. I tried my best, to basically explain it to you. Hopefully, you liked it. Please click the like button. Please click the subscribe button. It means a lot because it takes a lot of effort to create such kind of content. To practice and to make these tutorials for you. If you don't like it, that's absolutely fine. Comment below what you don't like, and I'll try to improve it. Meanwhile, check out this video.